that training. But Nick, a lot of that is that training you're talking about. I guarantee you that if I was to look up salt, the basic food additive and everything, I guarantee you if I was to look up salt and peanut butter, I'm just looking at a couple of food items that I've got in my living room right now and everything, that I would probably see all kinds of advertisement for salt and peanut butter that would start popping up in my feed just for me looking up those items and everything like that. So once you start looking up items, then they start getting into the algorithms, the lovely algorithms and everything like that, and then it becomes something that they automatically think that I want and everything. And we all know that salt is bad for you, so it's not like I need a lot of salt, but just because I was looking it up, they'd be like putting it in my feed left and right.
What it is it comes down to the algorithm itself. The way that it works is basically it the goal of any social media platform, especially today, is to get you to stay on that social media platform and look at everything on that social media platform. It's like it's crack for adults. It's what you have to be addicted to it. So when if anything pops up, yes, if you look up salt, then yes, it's going to bring up anything around salt. It's going to create a whole algorithm around that. If you remember growing up doing a word web, think about it that way. Anything that touches salt is going to pop up on your feed. Anything that touches assault or any type of hitting somebody, it's going to pop up on your feed. Things related to it, things talking about it. And it's not maybe even that one hit or that one incident. It's going to be multiple incidents, and it's going to pull them all up. And then it's going to talk about so it's going to create this whole algorithm around what's going to keep you locked into mine. Because what people don't realize, the reason why Twitter's free, the reason why Facebook is free, the reason why Google is free, the reason why all these things are free is because they are making a killing off of your data. You are being sold. You are an actual commodity to them. So if you can keep coming back and looking at whatever's on your phone and keep scrolling, doing the doom scrolling, they're going to make it. And that's what the algorithm does. So whatever you look up or whatever even if you talk about, it's picking it up because it's going to sell your data and create an algorithm, create something to make you look at your phone, make you stare at that social media platform the rest of the day because it's selling your data and it's sending you advertisements. And it's not that, hey, it's trying to teach you how to hit somebody. It's trying to get you to buy something. And that purchase is your viewership. And that's all it is. They don't care about what you do after that.
However, the algorithms can be sucky. Like Musk fired like 80% of his people, include almost all of them coders. So now the X algorithms are broken and crappy. Like when you pull up, show me the tweets from the people I'm following for the past week. It gives me like a dozen of my own tweets in a row. And it's like, yeah, I wrote those. I don't need to see those. What's going? It's broken. And the algorithms can be shitty. Like if you buy a refrigerator, if the algorithm shows you more ads for refrigerators, it's stupid. It's not sophisticated because you already bought your freaking refrigerator.
Yeah, but the thing is,
right, and that's exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
You may need a filter for your water system. You may need some to change your whole kitchen now. So you may need some cabinetries. What about, what? You got a refrigerator. You know what you can do now? Uber Eats. Guess why you want Uber Eats? Because you need to fill that refrigerator. So yeah, it's going to tie everything into it.
But Toby, along those same lines and everything, as I mentioned on this show a couple of times, just in the past, Mom had a major fender bender, so she's car shopping, now. It's not hitting a fact and anything along those lines, and she's looking up a lot of car things, whether it's through Car Guru or Carfox or a number of other things. But her lease is up, but she's hoping to have a car by Thursday or Friday at the latest. Let's say that she's successful and gets that car by Friday. I guarantee you that for the next year, and Mom's in her 80s, so she's probably not going to need another car, hopefully not, during the rest of her life and everything like that and everything in that space. But let's just say that for the next year or two, she's probably going to get a lot of car advertisement. The fact of her going out and buying another car, probably dim to none after she gets this next one and everything like that. So that's what my issue is I'm glad she's car shopping, and I know she's car shopping, but I also know that by her going to all these different car sites, she's going to be getting car ads left and right for the next decade, probably.
Yeah, yeah, that's the point. I mean, that legitimately is the point.
Speaking of the point along those same lines, I've got a question for you, Nick. I got a question for you because we have a show on this, and it's kind of tying into what we're talking about with algorithm called Follow the Brand. And then we had the pleasure of interviewing a candidate for a job that I'm associated with and everything like that. And the young lady came from a college, and she even said, everywhere I go, I got stuff with my alma mater, and she's a member of a certain fraternity. She's got stuff from her past job and everything like that, whether it's a notebook, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a number of other things. And I know we've got that stuff on our store and everything, but what are we doing to borrow from Grant McCall, who has a show here on the network, Follow the Brand, to actually brand Pod TV so that people actually know about Pod TV if either me or Jatovie are walking out and about and everything like that. So what are we doing in terms of branding? Because that's what this young lady mentioned, is that no matter where she goes, and let's just say she's associated with Savannah State, she's got some Savannah State gear, whether it's like you in that lovely Miami U Cup and everything like that. So she's always branding herself no matter where she goes, whether it's with a pen or with a shirt. And I was wondering even if Dr. Sharif has got World Economic Talent Forum merch and everything like that. So what are we doing in terms of branding?
Well, I'm going to defer to Dr. Sharif on branding, because his great plan is to take over the economic corridor that has 700 million people sitting in his backyard. So maybe he can help us out on branding Pod TV, especially in the Asian market.
Yeah, this is, I think already I'm starting, right? You are in the email, and the different policy level peoples and the top corporations and academia, they know about Pod TV. Secondly, like even though my last summit, what I did just 2 days ago, 1,000 people come and they support our initiative for this urban plan, for this climate initiative, for this Himalaya, Ganga, Podda and Bay of Bengal initiative. So Pod TV actually already people know about Pod TV, because we have some great scholar and the peoples like Rick, like Jatovie, like Mark Lee, like Nick Palveda, like David Walkers, like Kimberly, and all of the things. But one thing I have in mind, like if we can create shows or mini shows, not like 1 hour longs or something, like the 700 million people, those who are our audience in this region, their lifestyle, their culture, their food, their healthcare, their educations, their urban plan, the history of humankind, human development. Definitely people has a lot of interest about Silicon Valley, about USA, about NASA, about Harvard and MIT and Stanford. So both of the way, if we can bring the Western culture, if we can bring the Western things, and the other hand, like what is happening inside this region. So this is the fact. I write books. So soon I'm going to publish this book. Last few years, I do a lot of hard work to find out the research data, find out the policymakers doing all of the things. So Pod TV can be like life channel, right? TV channel for the people lifestyle, TV channel for the people thought, people cultures, people behaviors. That is the way I think we can get a great branding of our Pod TV. That is my thought.
I mean, well, Sharif, we had a show like that. It actually revolved around China, and Rick probably remembers this show because it was a young Chinese woman. And if Nick, if he comes back, he'll probably remember it as well and everything. But it was a young lady that traveled around China and explored the various Chinese cities and everything like that, giving us a lifestyle snapshot. So as the program manager on this network, I'd be open to that. And I've said that before. So if anybody's watching, even some of your people that are from those different countries that want to share their country and their lifestyle, and then we probably can do something similar from the United States or even the different states, where we can talk about like what the state flower is in North Carolina or the state flower is in California and some of the leading industry. So yeah, that's an easy show to do and everything like that. Now, whether it would generate interest and whether people would start watching it, that would be a time will tell kind of thing. But definitely, I think your point around education is a valid one and everything like that. Because I actually learned a lot about the different Chinese provinces. I don't know if you remember that show, Rick and everything, but the young lady was actually living in California. I think she was going to school in California at the time and everything, but there were provinces that I did not know. No problem. Yeah, you don't have to remember every show.
I'm sorry, I disappeared. I missed what you guys were talking about. But I did bring up a thing about what we were talking about just a little bit ago about them selling your information and all the other stuff, and while they're convincing you things. Rick should know this. Since we're on the media show. Yeah, I should it. There we go. This is the future. Basically, what's going on right here is they have to.
He'll be in Lebanon all before long.
For the company, or else they are.
Wait, we can't hear you.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
So basically, what this is Black Mirror. This is the show. This is one of the episodes, and what this is pointing out is actually what we were talking about before. If you think about your cell phone, he's trapped within a room right now. And the only way that he can actually get past and do what he wants to do is if he sits there and does what the company is telling him to do, is to power their network, which is why they have to go in and exercise. And they build credits for doing
I saw that episode.
Yeah.
Yep. And so this right here, yeah, he's wanting to play a video game, but guess what?
Selma tells Howie Mandelbrot, toy soldiers. Each headlines their own tentpole content on one of your 8 daylight streams, but they started here, like you, putting their back into giving back for a brighter now. Each paying their dues, like you, hoping to become a hotshot.
Pushing through the darkness, still another mile.
That wasn't good. That was beyond incredible! You decide the victors. You control their fates. You make the call on Hotshot.
When I know the time is right for me, I'll cross the street.
So see, he has to basically build up a certain amount of energy for the company, but basic to be able to skip through the ads. And those ads themselves are set up to basically sell you or get you to do particular things or get you to watch and get more eyeballs. That's what these companies are doing. That's what social media is. That's exactly what social media is.
The trend is that humans used to operate more or less in isolation. But we had our internal consciousnesses, our thoughts. And what technology is doing is lowering the barriers over the next few decades so that we will be outsourcing our thinking, sharing our thinking, becoming more linked to other information processing systems. We will become part of the worldwide thought cloud, which is awesome and also terrible.
Yeah, so it's got its pluses and its negatives. Hey, tell me just really quickly, because in the journalism field, there was a whole notion of the ombudsman and also the fact checkers. We still hear about the fact checker whenever Trump speaks and everything like that. But is there a version of that within the internet space, and particularly around AI? Because I think that's what some people are looking for, is a person that would be the quality control, for lack of a better term, for AI, so that you don't have as much of that misinformation. And I'm pretty sure that that job exists, but I don't know that we hear enough about the job, if it exists, or how it's done and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, the job exists, but the problem, that's for a company. So if you type in something right now for AI is going to spit out information and the data that it grabs from the internet. Sometimes all it's doing is it's the Cliff Notes version of a book. If the book is messed up, that you're writing your Cliff Notes wrong. So that's what AI does. It's grabbing all the information,
right,
putting it all into something that's palatable and quick and easy to read. And so if, in terms of your quote unquote quality control, yes, you got to have somebody to watch over it. We've talked about that before. But sometimes people just ride with whatever they read, and that becomes a problem. But that's the thing. There was actually a YouTuber that did it and talked about it in how it's what was it? It was talking about galaxies and universe, and how it aggregated the information that was put out there for the universe, and how there were some things that got. Let me see if I can pull it up, because it was actually pretty interesting. And yes, quality control has to happen. Yes, but is there quality control in the sense that you're thinking about it? No. There's nobody that's sitting there. Like, if you type something in and you run with it to the office, that's on you. You're the quality control. You have to go back and resource it. But in turn, what their quality control is, does this spit out information? Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It wasn't enough of that traditional quality control. Do you have something you were pulling up?
Yeah, I was trying to find it real quick, but yeah, it's all on the company to do that.
And some people don't want quality control. I mean, one of the things that is very popular out there is there have been a number of bad actors, for lack of a better term, in that sense, that will use AI and use that to do their bad acting. Because I know that there are people that have used AI literally to find out. I would not be surprised if the Louvre people didn't use AI, but to find ways to build negative things, whether that's a bomb or whether that's a way to break into a place.
Everybody, good and bad, will use AI for their own purposes. So far this morning,
right?
I've asked AI, I don't know, a dozen questions. Every time you Google something now, it's 50-50 whether the first answer is going to be an AI answer instead of a link to a website that'll give you the answer.
Right. And they even say that on like most.
They try to ride herd on to make sure that.
Because they even say that on. I'm sorry. They even say that on most searches now. Because I know if you do it on Google and others, one of the search engines is AI, and it'll give you the AI view and the AI stats and everything. Like even the thing that I was reporting earlier with economics, it said this is the AI report on economics and the disparity and everything like that. So they do let you know that it's AI in that sense.
We have AI is in the babysitting era, and we'll always be. AI will always need to be watched, whether it's by humans or by other AIs, to make sure that it's not bad acting itself or being used to do bad things. Like AI, right. You can ask AI, how do I build a bomb? And right. I don't know I'm not going to do that because I don't want that on my search history, but right. It's not supposed to tell you how to build a bomb. How do I poison somebody? You're not supposed to be able to do that. And people working at the AI companies are supposed to be looking for that kind of stuff and making sure that AI doesn't help people do that. But people will figure out different ways to work around it.
Right. Yep. Figure out a work around.
But it's all part of
definitely got to work around it. That's what
it's part of the worldwide thought network. Ideally, if you're going on AI and saying, how do I build a bomb? How do I poison somebody? That should trigger somebody to take a look to see what you're up to. Are you writing a novel where somebody builds a bomb, or are you really, going to do that? And, there are ways for people to work around that without leaving a digital record. One thing is to go to the library and poke around for a book that has the information you need and not get caught doing that. But yeah, it's a more, the technology changes how we do things for good and for frickin' evil.
And I'm sure that AI is being used for nefarious purposes. I mean, I have literally seen AI pictures that are part of catfishing schemes and everything like that. And you can tell that they're AI created because they don't look realistic at this point and everything. But as the technology gets better, they'll start looking more like your neighbor down the street and less like the airbrushed models and stuff of that nature. But that's just technology getting able to add more of the because everybody has faults in their physical appearance and everything like that.
On X, people are more likely to value a MAGA statement if it comes from an attractive younger woman. So a lot of MAGA accounts come from, because those are the hardest sell. That young women are supposed to be informed. They're supposed to be harder to bullshit than like some dumb guy, so they have more weight. But if you look at a MAGA account that is a young woman, if you zoom in on the profile pic, if the picture is AI generated, then it's not really a young woman who's selling you MAGA propaganda.
Well, I mean, it's AI. People are using AI in every way possible to sell or to do, just like I talked about earlier with the Venezuela piece. But this is one thing that I think I've showed this before. I don't know, because we got into a discussion about misinformation coming off of AI. But this is true.
You're not alone. A lot of people did their own research and then pasted an AI-generated paragraph into my comment section to prove me wrong. So many of us now think that expertise doesn't matter and we can just use Google and AI to do our own research and then come to someone's page and correct them when they're educating in their area of expertise. So let's use AI to show you why that's not the right approach. I'm using ChatGPT. Is high fructose corn syrup in infant formula? Yes, high fructose corn syrup is used in some infant formulas, although its presence is not universal. It may be included in hypoallergenic or specialized formulas where certain carbohydrate sources, such as lactose, are unsuitable due to allergies or intolerances. However, many parents prefer formulas that do not include high fructose corn syrup, particularly if they are avoiding certain added sugars. So I replied, I have a PhD in nutrition science and did my dissertation work in this area. Are you aware that corn syrup, which is 100% glucose, is not the same as high fructose corn syrup, which is over half fructose as a sugar? And fructose is not tolerated well by infants, so it's not used in infant formula. And it replied, you're absolutely correct. Corn syrup is often confused with high fructose corn syrup, but they are entirely different. Corn syrup, which is glucose-based, is commonly used in infant formulas as a carbohydrate source, especially in lactose-free or hypoallergenic formulas. High fructose corn syrup, on the other hand, contains a mix of glucose and fructose and is not used in infant formula due to infants' limited ability to process fructose efficiently. And then I said, so why did you originally say that high fructose corn syrup was an infant formula when that is incorrect? And then it said, thank you for catching that. I misspoke in my initial response, and I appreciate your expertise in pointing out the error. You're absolutely right that high fructose corn syrup is not used in infant formula. So perhaps some of us should take a seat and realize that expertise does matter and not rely on AI-generated paragraphs to give ourselves an overinflated sense of unearned knowledge.
That's that quality control you're talking about. Yes. I mean, AI messes up, but people just believe it.
Well, and you don't have time.
Yeah, it definitely messes up
to fact check everything. Like so much stuff is flying around that I'll go to AI and most of the time I'll believe it, and sometimes I'm wrong. Like I tweeted probably 40 times, maybe 50, 60 times about the Minneapolis shooting. And I wasn't always right because I was tweeting as fast as I could go based on the breaking information. And later, new information showed up. Like I tweeted that the woman who got shot was terrified just before she got shot. But no, if you look at the new video that came out, no, she was casually bantering with the ICE agents. She was not, at least at the point where she was talking with them, she wasn't afraid. There may have been a point where, I mean, certainly when the bullets were flying at her, she was afraid, but we don't have any video of her being hit with the bullets, thankfully. So we didn't, but anyway, I was wrong about her attitude right before she was shot. And stuff moves too fast. And I should probably get in there. But
yeah. No, I was saying it moves much too fast and everything like that. But Jacoby, even in that sense, and you as Rick as well, I'm pretty sure that and AI is finding its way into what people wouldn't expect AI to be finding its way into. Because I've been having a conversation, and the woman is claiming that she's doing market research about restaurants, but based on the kinds of questions that she's asking, I would not be surprised if it's not a real person, but AI, but it might be a real person, but it was on Yelp, because I'm a member of Yelp Elite, which is that restaurant and other kind of service reviewer and everything like that. But literally, I know that this has been like going on for 2 days, and they were asking about, what favorite restaurant is and and then they apparently are claiming that they're doing research around spas and bringing a spa to the area and everything like that. But for all I know, it could be an AI bot having this conversation with me, because
a lot of Yelp reviews are, I don't know that they're AI generated, but they are, when somebody's getting bad reviews on Yelp, they will counter that by getting their friends to put up good reviews.
That's very true. And because it's a volunteer service and everything like that, and they're not the only one. That what's the one that people use for job hunting and everything like that? It's got door in the title. Glassdoor
or something. I don't know.
It's Glassdoor. And a lot of those is, like you said, it's they get a negative one, then some of the people in the company or some of the people that are friends of folks in the company will try to counter the negative ones and everything like that. Because I know a lot of people use that to even decide whether they're going for a job interview on a company, because they'll see what their Glassdoor reviews look like. And like you said, some of those are legitimate and some of those are being algorithm maneuvered.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that at all.
We found, for when you're looking up companies, Trustpilot is pretty good. Trustpilot seems to, people are cranky on Trustpilot. So the negative reviews are not hidden.
They're not hidden on Glassdoor, because I know that even some of the companies that I've worked for have gotten some very ugly reviews on Glassdoor and everything like that. So yeah, those, and some of them are legitimate reasons, like the monotony of the job or certain other reasons that they give and everything. Some of them are people that have personal grudges and everything like that. And I imagine the same thing with the restaurant reviews. If somebody got a bad order, then they might not give you the best review and everything like that.
Yeah.
But you also see that even in film reviews. I'm sure you saw that even in TV show reviews. Like you mentioned on the other show, we just had the Golden Globes, and it was very low key, because I think Nikki Glaser was trying to stay away from controversial issues and everything like that. But I've gone and looked at some of the film reviews and some of the TV series reviews, and some of those are also done by independent individuals. Even on IMDb, they're sometimes done by individual folks, and some of them can be very legitimate, and some of them might be folks that got an axe to grind.
So yeah, where you see axes to grind, I see it in late night shows where Jimmy Kimmel lost MAGA and Stephen Colbert lost MAGA, and so they will, anytime Jimmy Kimmel shows up in the media, He won a Critics' Choice Award. And I'm sure if you go to the comments on like Deadline or Variety, that maybe a third of the comments will be, he's not funny, he's never been funny, or they'll post clips from The Man Show where he's in blackface, because he did a few skits. He used to like to, it wasn't Charles Barkley, who was it? He used to like to dress up as a certain NBA player. He thought that guy was funny, and he liked to talk like him, and he'd put on black makeup, and you can't do that anymore. But at the time, this was in the 2010s, maybe not even before that, maybe not even in the 21st century. And they'll put that up to show he's a bad guy, and just, so yeah, that happens. I'm not sure it happens for,
Yeah, that definitely happens.
I don't know that it would happen for like a mainstream movie that doesn't have any really overt politics in it, but it could.
Can you talk about the Golden Globes and some of the winners? Because I didn't know all of those shows and everything like that. And apparently there were some that won that were doing quite well and everything like that. I think there was one called, I think there was one that had American in the title and everything like that. I don't remember all of them, but just if you can share a little about some.
What shocked my wife and me was the release dates of the various nominees and winners seem to be so far apart. Like there's a new show called Pluribus that's been out for, I don't know, maybe 2.5 months. Rhea Seehorn won Best Actress for that, which she deserves. It's a, but that thing came out 2.5 months ago. Another great show called Adolescence won a bunch of awards. That thing came out like 18 months ago. How can they both be considered in the same year? That surprised us.
Yeah, that definitely surprised me. And apparently there was a Shakespearean type movie that had a different name for Hamlet. Yeah, so what's Hamlet all about?
Here's the story. So everybody knows Hamlet, maybe one of the two most famous plays in history.
Right.
But what people don't know is that Shakespeare had a son named Hamnet.
Okay.
And this movie tells the story of Shakespeare and his family in 1596. And it won some awards, which it should have, because it's a really good movie. It won for Best Actress. It won for Best Director. And yeah, it's an awesome movie. It'll make you cry, both with happiness maybe at one point and with sadness, mostly with sadness. One Battle After Another, which is Paul Thomas Anderson's the director, Leonardo DiCaprio's the star, one of the female stars won. It's pretty good. The way we watch movies now isn't fair to movies. You used to go to the theater and sit there and watch it all in one sitting. But I watched One Battle After Another in half-hour chunks in between doing other stuff. And maybe I'd be tired, I'd fall asleep, I'd have to go back. So it didn't have the impact. I didn't think it was as great as other people did, maybe because of the way I watched it. I don't know. Let's look. I'm going to look.
What did you think of Sinners? What did you think of Sinners? Because I know it won a couple of awards.
Well, see, I watched it that same way in chunks on TV when I was sleepy. Instead of if you pay $20 to go watch a movie in a theater, you're going to try to give the movie your full attention. So I watched it in chunks, and it was good. It was surprising in places, but then I felt like it turned into it had different angles on stuff, on the history of Black people in America manifesting as ghosts, but it still had a bunch of stuff that was kind of standard fighting vampires. and you know, it's tough. You have to, so when you're doing a movie like that, you have to, you know, show people something. Like if you're going to do a zombie movie, people are, I think, you know, I'm sick of zombies. So but I'll like a good zombie movie if it shows me something new. If it's not just like running away from, you know, a bunch of people, you know, who are dead and shooting them in the head, you know, it's like Liam Neeson movies. A lot of them they were made for low money with a standards, you know. So I don't know.
Well, one of the other things about award shows, and I've always wondered this, and you've been to award shows. I said I was going to go to one, and I've even had dreams, even though at 63, about to be 64 in July, it'll probably never come to fruition of actually producing an award show. I've actually produced an award event and everything like that here in North Carolina, but producing an award show, or actually I was co-planner in that particular award and everything like that. But I've had dreams of doing that, just like I've had dreams of doing the Rose Bowl parade, or even a Super Bowl halftime. But like I said, you know, to get those jobs are next to impossible and everything like that. But they can be a fantasy dream and everything along those lines. But one of the things people talk about, and they talked about this year as well, is fashion gets its moment in the sun during the award show, particularly the Academy Awards and the Grammys and the Golden Globes even, and everything like that. So I was just wondering, as you and your wife apparently were watching some of the show, what did you think?
The Tiana Taylor, who won the Golden Globe for One Battle After Another, she had butt crack jewelry. She had a big diamond bow that was kind of in the form of a G-string. And she turned around and made sure everybody, she goes, look at, you know, I forget what she said, but she pointed it out in case you missed it. And that was maybe the most amazing fashion thing of the whole thing. But, you know, I don't know, you had a bunch of people, guys wearing traditional tuxes, and then some guys not wearing a tux at all. For some reason, tinted glasses, or Glenn Powell was wearing like these weird, you know, tinted lens glasses, which, you know, on regular people, wearing tinted glasses, especially indoors, is kind of creepy. But three of the guys at the Globes were wearing these things, and, you know, since they're movie stars, they looked good doing it. What else? They look good. K-pop Demon Hunters won some awards for best song, for best anime. It's the most watched movie in the history of Netflix. Like 500 million people have watched that freaking movie. If you translated that, you know, if it had shown it in theaters and 500 million people watched it, that would have meant $5 billion at the box office.
Have you seen this unusual commercial? I've been seeing it a couple of times, and I think it's for a security firm and everything along those lines, but it is using a banana as a prop and everything like that, because it's basically talking about how the banana isn't really going to protect the person, even though they're saying that the banana.
There was another thing about the Globes that kind of surprised me, which is how crappy some of the ads were.
Right.
That these shows like this used to be super prestige with super high ratings. So like the Super Bowl, there are very few crap ads at the Super Bowl. People spend a lot. If they're going to spend $3 million for 30 seconds, they're going to put an ad in that slot that is good. But there were crap ads. There were ads for the General car insurance, which shows that the ratings for these award shows have fallen to the point where they have some ad slots available for people putting up crappy ads. There were some decent ads, but there was a lot of junk.
Well, that comes back to our thing around social media, because I did see a social media post about the Golden Globes, and it was basically somebody, and I'm thinking it was a MAGA person that was upset that they were basically saying that these award shows are a chance for the stars to self-grandize themselves and everything like that. So basically to congratulate themselves for their outstanding work and to congratulate their friends and everything like that. They were basically arguing that there hadn't been that much great television and movies in recent past, and this was just another.
And I thought this was a pretty good year for TV and movies. Yeah, there
I thought so too, but I can tell that. Go ahead.
And yeah, but the part of the monologue, like a decent monologue, including Nikki Glazer's, makes fun of makes fun of the whole idea of these award shows. Saying, yeah, we're already rich and famous and we're beautiful, but we still need this frickin' show to kiss our asses. So yeah, everybody acknowledges that.
Apparently, Nikki made fun, and apparently it's a routine part of award shows these days, because apparently Leonardo DiCaprio has a history of dating young women and everything. So she made a joke about it. Apparently, others have made jokes about it and everything like that. So apparently, he has become apparently he's become the walking target. And
but he's a good sport about it. She listed all his accomplishments, like 4 Golden Globes and Oscar, and he accomplished it all before his girlfriend turned 30, which is a great joke.
That is a great joke. That all happened before the girlfriend turned 30 and everything. And apparently there are also other people that are hard to get good jokes about, because I think that she was saying she was having a hard time finding a good joke about Julia Roberts, because a lot of people, Julia Roberts is well loved in Hollywood and everything like that. So I guess it's hard to get a joke about her, just like it's probably hard to get a joke about Sigourney Weaver and some of the other historic names of Hollywood.
Because they stay the frick out of the limelight. They are professionals, and when they're not working, or they're like Julia Roberts doesn't live in Los Angeles. She lives in, I don't know, maybe New Mexico or something. She's been married to the same guy for probably 25 years. She doesn't need to get out there.
She doesn't get it. Speaking of folks that don't have to get out there, I was shocked, and maybe I should have known this, that Maya Rudolph, who used to be on SNL and is married to a longtime producer. I'm trying to think of the gentleman's name, but they've got 4 kids, and apparently they have not been ever officially married. They're kind of like one of those couples that have been together, kind of like my dad and his longtime lady friend. They've never gotten married and everything like that, but they are perfectly happy. And in their case, not like my parents, not like my dad and his girlfriend's case, because it's just me and my brother, but they never had any children together, even though she's got 2 children from a previous relationship. But apparently they've had 4 kids together, and one of the kids is actually named after her late mother, Minnie Riperton, who was I'm a big fan of, and everything like that.
Minnie Riperton died tragically at a super young age.
Right.
But she's been with the director who directed One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson, for I don't know how long. I didn't know they weren't married.
They're not married.
My wife noticed that he kept winning awards and he didn't thank her. I don't think it was an oversight. Maybe they talked about it. I mean, she was with him at the ceremony. Sometimes it's a little bit scandalous. I remember Hilary Swank's husband won an award, and everybody noticed that he didn't thank her, and then like 6 months later they were divorced. I don't think it's that situation.
Well, I don't think it's that. And apparently she and he are very low key. They're not the typical Hollywood couple that's out there trying to do a lot of Hollywood things. Apparently they were raising their 4 kids. I think the oldest might be in his 20s, and they've got a couple of other ones as well. But yeah, they've been together for a long time and everything like that. But they did say that they are the low key type of Hollywood types.
So there's people talk about Nepo babies. My wife worked at a couple private schools in LA. And if you work at a fancy private school, you're going to see the offspring of famous people. And one thing I noticed, like if you watch a high school movie, a movie set in high school, there's a lot of social desperation in these high school movies. I was socially desperate myself in high school, where I wanted to be popular so bad. I did so many things trying to be cool, and it always failed. But there are a lot of movies about people striving for stuff in high school. I noticed, I didn't have much experience, but the kids at these fancy private schools are pretty chill. because they've grown up around, you know, parents who have, you know, big positions in entertainment, and that leads to they see how life works, they see how the business works, and maybe they don't have the desperateness of somebody who is coming to LA from Kentucky to try to make it big. So, you know, if you grew up around and if you've been in entertainment for decades, you treat it maybe more like a business, and you behave in like, you know, like in the 70s. In the 70s, there was just a ton of coke, like in entertainment. SNL, the early days of SNL were supposed to be flooded with cocaine, and you know, I think that's, you know, those days it's less common now. People treat it as a business, and they go about it in like it's the thing that they do, instead of this friggin', you know, orgy.
Well, one quick question that we got to get ready to get out of here. I think they're already doing the other show, the show around timeshares and everything like that. But I know that your friend Lance grew up in that kind of environment with his dad having been the Pink Panther founder and everything. So to the question I asked Reef earlier, and I asked Nick, when are we going to get some Naked at Night merchandise? And is it this Sunday that we're taping, or is it the following Sunday that we're taping?
We're taping in 6 days. We'll do another.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
And I don't know. I mean, like, we don't have the money to get to. I mean, I don't know that we have the viewership to justify merch.
Understood. So we might not have the viewership. Well, on that note, I'll get ready to get out of here. I'll see you on tomorrow on World Edition. Yeah, on World Edition and some other shows that we got going on the network. I know we got Timeshare. Right now, we've got some other things that'll be coming up on the network as well on this Monday, including Maxine's show and some other ones. We've moved to Sharon's show from Tuesday to Wednesday. I've actually got to update that on the schedule.
All right, I'm going to go try to write something so I can sell it and get on the Golden Globes at some point.
That's right. We want you on the Golden Globes. So let's get ready to get out of here. It's been a fun conversation with you, Jatovia and Nick, but we're going to get out of here. Oh, not all of us are making the money that apparently Sasha is making, because I think Sasha is on vacation somewhere. I'm not sure where. I think it's his usual place.
Sasha knows what he's doing. Sasha does his research, and he knows how to buy stock options, and yeah, he gets a great return on the time he spends like knowing stuff.
Exactly. And on that note, we're going to get on out of here.
I get zero return on like tweeting all day.
Gotcha.
All right.
Well, yeah, same here. Let's get on out of here.